You're watching the ZNS Network, the People's Station.
This is the Bahamas Tonight, Northern Edition.
Good evening, Bahamas. I'm Shashina Rolf-Arkinson. As always, it is so great to have you with us. Topping news, the Immigration Department coming under fire tonight. The Vice President of the Bahamas Customs and Immigration Allied Workers Union is accusing the department of unfair treatment and are calling on the powers that be to intervene and resolve a myriad of issues from upward mobility to outstanding overtime pay. Italia Hall picks up the story.
Vice President of the Bahamas Customs and Immigration Allied Workers Union, Duran Brooks, says enough is enough. He claims that employees of the Customs and Immigration Department have been treated unfairly for far too long. Brooks charges that on the 19th of January 2021, the Director of Immigration advised that a new Assistant Director of the Immigration Department had been appointed. That appointee, according to Brooks, the Assistant Director is not a career immigration officer, but a retired police officer. He alleges that no one within the department was afforded the opportunity to apply for that position.
Because they did not even let us know that the vacancy existed.
Now, Brooks says due to this unfair treatment, a trade dispute was filed on Thursday, January 28th.
Because it is our view that the department did not follow the protocols as set out in the public service regulations, in general orders, and essentially would be a breach of the contract between the union and the government.
Brooks says the union would like to know why the Immigration Department has outsourced the position.
When you have persons with institutional knowledge and tenure who understand the department, they're bringing in somebody, and we consider that essentially, being put mildly, that's a slap in the face to us.
The union leader claims that the Department of Immigration has not had a promotional exercise in many years, and that some workers have not been confirmed since 2011. Additionally, he notes that more employees are set to occupy top positions within the department. Brooks says the situation has gotten to the point where employees are afraid to stand up for their rights.
The union does not support that. We don't endorse that. We don't want to work with them. Do not bring them to Bahamas Immigration. In fact, we are asking that the government fire the Director of Immigration forthwith. If his contract has been extended, terminate it. If he's on month-to-month, disengage it. Fire, let me come a little closer. Fire the Director of Immigration.
Now, Brooks says another bone of contention is that customs and immigration officers have not been paid overtime for months. He says while he understands the economic climate in the country, it's been far too long.
But it would appear as though they find funds when it's convenient for them. If you could find funds to employ this new person, and the rumors we've heard of several other persons coming in, then you could promote customs and immigration, and you can pay those outstanding funds.
Italia Hall, ZNS Network News.
Now, our ZNS News team reached out to the Director of Immigration, Clarence Russell, for a comment on the charges.
Aware that there is a move afloat to speak to several trade disputes and several issues that concerns the Customs and Immigration Union. A matter of that sort, I think, ought to be brought to the administration officially, so that the administration, including the Honorable Minister and our Permanent Secretary, are in a position to respond.
Meantime, the Grand Bahama Christian Council is concerned about an apparent increase in homelessness here on Grand Bahama and in Abaco. Officials say destruction brought on by Hurricane Dorian as well as unemployment due to COVID-19 has left many without a roof over their heads. Tonight, the leader of the Christian community is speaking on behalf of those families in need of assistance. Jamila Mizik reports.
President of the Grand Bahama Christian Council, Robert Lockhart, says from the church perspective, they have seen an increase in persons asking for assistance with rent and housing.
One of the challenges of being, as have been communicated to me by some persons, is even though there's assistance from social services, And from the government, some landlords found it not workable for them, that working along with social services or whatever contingencies the government has in place has not worked for them, so they prefer not to. So I found with persons, even though they've been approved by social services, they found it difficult to find landlords that are willing to work with them. I'm saying that, you're usually not paid on time, and they themselves have mortgages to pay on their properties. And so if persons are depending on social services, they don't want to accommodate those type of persons.
He's asking for greater government assistance to help ease that burden.
I think it would be great, first of all, for the government probably to have some forum with landlords to discuss some of the challenges that landlords may have dealing with the contingencies that government may have put in place to help people with housing, and how they can make that a more smoother partnership, so that the majority of landlords who own home or apartments can make it more readily to persons who needs housing assistance. I think the other thing the government can do is to get a better assessment, or get an assessment of a good percentage of how many persons do need housing in our community and is finding it very difficult to afford to pay rent or find some place for them to stay, and so that we can help persons in that area.
Lockhart says he believes the church is doing its part, but the church cannot meet all of the demands, and that is why it is important for everyone to come together collectively to assist.
I've had people who say, they told me what the cost is or whatever like that. Social services is going to help me with a certain amount, so I'm coming to get assistance with this amount. But the person is saying to me, if you're dependent on social services, I don't want to tenant like that. Okay, so that's where I'm saying those issues need to be solved. And then also when you can't help everybody, then of course I'm saying that's where families come in. So I'm saying if you're getting the necessary assistance, government doing what they can do, people who own housing and apartments doing what they can do, the church doing what they can do, and family doing what they can do, all of us together can help each other make it through this crisis time.
Jamila Mizik, ZNS Network News.
In other news, the ZNS Network will be expanding its digital presence this February as we partner with OrderYourStuff.com to launch the ZNS Shopping Network. As the COVID-19 pandemic highlighted the increase in online activities such as bill paying and general shopping, ZNS is adjusting with the climate. The online platform aims to help increase the Bahamian economy. Megan Shepard explains.
Deputy General Manager of the ZNS Northern Service, Darren Meadows, says that ZNS has embarked on the ZNS Shopping Network in an effort to bolster the Bahamian economy, beginning specifically in Grand Bahama and New Providence with the goal of expansion.
This initiative is a shopping network which is designed to assist the merchants in advertising and gaining exposure for their businesses. At the same time, the consumers will be benefiting as well because they're going to be getting deals better than the ones in the store. And so we're just seeking to use our platform to try and facilitate a way to create a better standard of living for our population.
ZNS has partnered with OrderYourStuff.com, and President Emil Jarrett notes that consumers love doing convenient business. The ZNS Shopping Network will bring together hundreds of businesses on one platform and offer discounted goods and services that can only be enjoyed through the website. Jarrett says it gets even better as the goods can be delivered to your home.
We are set up to offer delivery as well. And so if someone signs up to the platform, creates an account, and makes a purchase, they have the option to either have the item delivered or they can set a time for them to visit the store. The merchants are required to provide the consumers with priority access. Once they've already made the purchase, there's no need for them to join a line. If they've selected delivery, then delivery feature will kick in and the consumer will know that their item has been picked up every step of the way. They'll have the phone number of the delivery agent and they will get updated notifications as to when the package is arrived to their preferred destination. In Nassau, We have not yet turned on the delivery side. We're working with the delivery. What happens in Nassau is that persons will be able to go to the store at times that they specify when they make a purchase.
Shoppers can search for any business ranging from restaurants to hotels, home improvement stores, jewelers, and more. Jarrett adds that Bahamians have contributed millions to international economies through their online shopping, and now, more than ever, is the time to shop at home and contribute to the local economy.
By allowing merchants to come on a platform, a single platform, where their goods and services can be found easily, is the first step towards leveling that playing field. We're losing untold millions of dollars to the U.S. every year because people have formed the habit of looking at Amazon or looking at Walmart or looking at Macy's and all of these giants, and we're literally propping up the U.S.'s economy at the expense of our own. Because Macy's isn't hiring any Bahamians, neither is Amazon. We have to support the local merchants, our hotels, our restaurants, all of our manufacturing, all of our retailers. These are the companies and businesses that employ Bahamians.
And as to when you will be able to begin your new shopping experience.
And so what we're doing with the ZNS Shopping Network is simply facilitating the e-commerce side of what's going to be televised from midnight until 6 a.m. So it's a midnight madness launch. So come February 12th at midnight, the store is going to come on online. Order Your Stuff will be facilitating the ZNS Shopping Network. So when someone types in orderyourstuff.com, the first thing they will see is the ZNS Shopping Network.
Merchants interested in having their businesses featured on the ZNS Shopping Network can contact the ZNS Northern Service Office. Megan Shepard, ZNS Network News.
Well, some good news for the travel industry, as it was recently announced by the Minister of Tourism that the United States will not make quarantine mandatory for air passengers entering the U.S. from an international country. According to reports, the Honorable Dionisio de Aguilar says the U.S. will not move forward with its plan to implement federal quarantine requirements for individuals traveling to the United States. The report states that it is going to be a recommendation that when persons enter the U.S. to quarantine and to get a test after being in the U.S. some 3 to 5 days after arrival. And if they don't get that test, to quarantine for 10 days. Now, the testing requirement is a PCR or antigen test no more than 3 days old to enter the country. That still remains in effect. Last month, President Joe Biden signed an executive order which required everyone traveling via air into the U.S. to obtain a PCR or antigen COVID-19 test and to quarantine. Now, the executive order was one of the several orders signed by the new president in an effort to stop the spread of the deadly COVID-19 virus. In news from the courts, 23-year-old Adrian Trevor Newman of number 2 Bruce Avenue was arraigned on 1 count of child pornography before Magistrate LaQuay Lang in Magistrate Court number 3 in Freeport this morning. He pleaded not guilty to the charge. The matter was adjourned to March 16, 2021 for trial. Bail was granted in the amount of $7,000 with 1 or 2 shorters. Newman is to have no contact with the virtual complainant directly or indirectly, and he's to sign in at the Central Police Station every Monday between 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. In default, he will be remanded to the Bahamas Department of Correctional Services. This is in connection to a complaint that was made at the Criminal Investigation Department. Now, as we mentioned earlier, the Grand Bahama Christian Council is concerned about an apparent increase in homelessness here in Grand Bahama and in Abaco. Now, officials say destruction brought on by Hurricane Dorian as well as unemployment due to the COVID-19 pandemic has left many without a roof over their heads. Well, we reached out to Social Services Assistant Director and Officer in charge of the Northern Bahamas, Charlemagne Fernander, who says Social Services continues to offer its regular assistance programs as it relates to housing on this island.
in the problem for various reasons of an internal nature, but not everybody has that experience. We have been helping, like I said, and continue to help a large number of persons, and we continue to give this program rent assistance our full attention. However, if he is aware of some specifics that he would like to help us look into, then I'm encouraging him or the landlords to make direct contact with us so we can address those matters. So that was a general statement he made, and I would like to say that not everybody has the experience, that it takes a while. I would like to encourage anybody making inquiries to contact us at 3529851 or 2 so that we can address their specific.
Now, as it relates to the claim of landlords unwilling to assist residents because of the delay in assistance from social services, the assistant director says that this is not always the case.
We provide emergency housing for persons who are in emergency need of temporary housing, yes, like 1 2 nights, for instance, that the government assumes responsibility for if we verify that there is a need. And also we have a rent assistance program. That is an ongoing program, and there have been a large number of applicants for rent assistance in the wake of Hurricane Dorian and COVID-19 loss of employment, for instance, loss of employment related to COVID-19. And so we have been assisting a great number of persons with rent assistance.
Stay with us. We'll be back right after this.